Hello there. In this lesson, we are going to learn about elements, compounds, and mixtures. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain the differences between elements, compounds, and mixtures. How many different substances can you think of? You can pause the video and resume when you are done. Now, as you can see, there are loads of different substances. Some are man-made, others are natural. So even though this is man-made, it is made from natural materials. So all substances are made of tiny particles called atoms. The different substances around us are made of different types of atoms. So basically, okay, let's look at this example. If you take sugarcane, for instance, you discover that it's made from atoms. Atoms are small particles. We will learn about elements very soon. Sugarcane, for instance, contains carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So that's atoms of carbon, atoms of hydrogen, atoms of oxygen combined to make sugarcane. What are elements? There are just over 100 substances that contain just one type of atom. They are called elements. So if you look around us, there are just over 100 elements, substances that are made from pure elements. That means they don't contain anything else. You can look at your periodic table to see the examples of these known elements so far. So you cannot break elements down into anything simpler. Elements contain only one type of atom, and elements are the building blocks of other substances. So take a look at charcoal. It contains only carbon. It doesn't contain anything else, otherwise it won't be qualified as an element. Iron, again, contains only atoms of iron. What are molecules? Sometimes some atoms just like to pair up. They don't like being on their own. They pair up with another atom, and we call such a molecule. So some elements don't exist on their own. They just join together covalently to form molecules. Example: oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, chlorine, bromine. There are other examples as well. We represent element by symbol. This is what we mean by symbol O2. This is the name, and this is more like the particle drawing. What are compounds? So we understand elements now contain one type of atom, only one type of atom. Now with compounds, you have two or more elements joined together. So they are held together by a chemical bond. If that happens, you have what we call a compound. So for instance, sodium, a very reactive metal, reacts with chlorine, a very poisonous gas, and you get sodium chloride. And what does this tell us? That the properties of compounds are not the same as the properties of the elements. Chlorine is very deadly, it's poisonous. That's why it is used to disinfect swimming pool. And you have sodium, a very reactive metal. It shouldn't go next to water because it's explosive, making sodium chloride completely safe to eat. That's salt, common salt that you use almost every day. Then what are mixtures? So a compound is made up of two or more types of atom. The elements are chemically joined together. With mixtures, there is no chemical bond. So if you take the compound which contains two or more elements or atoms chemically joined together, and you take apart the chemical bond, you get a mixture. So they are just mixed together now, not held together by any bond. So it's easy to separate them. A compound has a fixed composition. So there is known, for instance, the amount of oxygen and carbon in carbon dioxide are in a certain known ratio, but in a mixture, there's no fixed composition and there is no chemical bond. So these are diagrammatic representation. You have atom, you have molecules, you have molecule and another molecule, but here compounds. Take a look at the different colors joining them, although it's similar here, but this is mostly going to be gases. But here you can have, you know, a solid like a metal and a non-metal reacting together, and you have mixtures. There are no chemical bonds. Thank you very much.